Great. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Yep, good. So we'll just do this a little bit. Work the arms a little bit, just play with slightly tensioning the hands down to the ground. Widen the shoulders. Just spread the fingers away from each other. Releasing the hands, take it front and back. So now, just bring the arms into, just reach them up. You can tension them forward, tension them back gently. Blowing, drawing a bow a little bit back and forwards. And releasing the arms, take it side to side. Just bring the arms into it, just tension them out a little bit. Keeping the spine flexible. And dropping the arms again into light rotation. Keep the shoulders loose. And just gently tension the arm into it. The hips leave the motion. Just follow. Yeah, releasing the arms, take it into a wave of opening and closing. And just bring the hands into it, slightly tension them back. As you come forward, roll them down. So keep a little bit of tension in there. And let the hip kind of guide the movement. Right. Okay, keeping the center way out, just let the arms come up down the side and then just let them kind of Pull down the center and release the spine all the way down. Let it hang the body. And then you can leave the arms where they are. You can just kind of hook them just above the head and just, just sway through the spine. Just release any direction. Nice gentle movements. Release the lower spine. Try and get it moving a little bit. And just release the arms again. Go up. Nice and slowly. I'll just repeat it, just do a few times. Coming out. I'll just pass through the center line. Draw the spine down. Nice and slow. Take the arms out of the way and just loosen out a few. And keep the knees a little bit bent so you're not stretching the legs too much. Release the arms. Curling up. Pressure down. And one more. Breathing up. Through the center line. Release the spine. Release the head. Release the face, the neck. Nice gentle movements. And release the arms again to the ground. Gently pulling it. This time just stopping at the knee. Around about the knee. Just keep the spine a little bit bent and then just play with kind of cat-cow. Just curling the spine up. Curling the spine through. Rounding the back. Pulling the chest out long. If you think about kind of moving the solar plexus in this case, you kind of rounding the solar plexus back towards the spine and pull it out long. And we just release the shoulders, just take the foot one step forward, just release out the arm, just circle. Nice heavy circles. If you've got weights with the scissors, really good. Just let the arm traction down and loosen down. You get to the point where you feel the arm's just doing it itself. So you kind of start it and then just keep the shoulder open. Kind of a strange feeling. And then try and stop, or just stop the arm. And see if you can the other way. Just kind of start it and then just keep it open. The weight and the lean of the body should just keep the arm moving. Great. Good. Can we do the other side? We'll just start one way. And this is the difference between one shoulder and the other. Maybe one. And release it, go the other way. Good. Just pulling the body back up. Just have the elbows a little bit. And use a little bit of a forward tilt of the body if you want. Other way. Working the wrist, working figure of eight. And feel that the elbow and the wrist kind of work together. And the other way around the circle. Or the figure of eight. Working a fist, loosen down. The other way. Change. Change. Taking fingers, pressure out the palm. Keep the shoulder relaxed. taking the flat of the hand, back of the hand. A bit of pressure out the back of the hand down, kind of loosen the shoulder a little bit. And change. Taking the fingers down. And in this case, just start to draw the fingers down towards the hip. Keeping that pressure down, arm out. If you're flexible enough, you can kind of place the hand on the fingers on the left, and you can just press down a little bit deeper. Release it. Take it through there. Pressure out. Just gently, keeping the tension out. Take it down. And if you can first rest it on the hip, on the thigh. Release it and shake them out a little bit. And down, doggy paddle. Up and down, side to side. And releasing out the arms. Keep your wrist as free as you can, and kind of release out the fingertips as well. And think kind of out and down at the same time, let the weight settle. And then just with the light, it's just across the other side. So this hand to the shoulder, just release it out, release it out, release it out. Kind of a light, kind of a loose fist in this case. We just snap it out and back. Same time, let the other arm, in this case, let the other elbow kind of open out this way, this way, this way. You're kind of shooting up. Imagine the elbows kind of pulling, opening away from each other. Snaps out and back, out and back, out and back, out and back. And then just do the same just with the rotation, or just take it basically to any point. That, you rotate with it, open it out. Rotate with it, open it out. Rotate with it, open it out. Just kind of let the head kind of lead it in a way. Knees release as much as they need to. You can do this with an open hand, you can do this with a fist, whichever feels good. And we'll just work two fists over the side, coming right over the top of the head, extend, inject the elbows out with the fists. And pull back. You can make it a little bit deeper if you kind of pull the hips away from the fist, but when you kind of draw the hips into it with the strike, but in this case, you can pull the hips a little bit further away from the fist. Tension it out, pull it back, and do 3 each side. Number 2. On the other side. And the last one on each side. Pull it back. We'll just go to the hips. And change. Release. Never to step out. Nice tight circles. And the other way. Stretch them back a little bit, pull the toes up off the ground. Keep the ball of the toe, big toe, just in contact with the ground. And just try and spread the outside edge of the foot as well towards the little toe. Pull the toes up, but keep the foot really in contact with the ground. Good. Now for the toes, coming down, raising the heel, sink weight into the toes. You can use the hands if you want. If you don't need to, you can lose the hands. Great. Stretching them back again. Keep the hands there where they are, if they're on the ground. Pull the toes up, but press the foot into the ground. So where the base of the big toe is, just press that in. Try and press the outside edge of the little toe. And the heel, obviously in contact. And then if you can, if you've got soft ground, if you've not, just to go to the last one, just float the knees up. If you can, just take the knees down, sit back into the heels. Just sit into it. You're in 𝘰𝘳𝑗𝘂, sitting on the toes. Sit back into them. Relax the heel into the toes a little bit. And then if you can find the flats of the foot, just settle the heel down. Settle the foot to the heels. Okay, find the hands again. Find the toes. Pull yourself back up. Just keep the body a little bit spread now, so the hands a little bit further back, further in front of the feet, not too wide. Think like a kind of tabletop. Just start to pull the back long, so you kind of even the weight between the hands and the feet. Pull the spine long, like a high table. Hold it. Okay, walk the legs out a little bit deeper, a little bit wide. And then just pull the hips back. So imagine someone's behind you, just pulling your hips back. Just weight starts to leave the fingers, but try and grip into the ground a little bit with the fingertips. So imagine you're a little bit trying to resist the pull back with the fingers. Allow the head and the neck to really become one line with the spine. So the ears are going to kind of just fit into the shoulders. Make it a little bit wider, a little bit deeper. Spread your mat apart and break it flat. Try and hold the ground together. Slowly pull the hands back. This is when you need to replace your mat every so often. Okay. Okay, pull the hands just up to the shoulders. Again, fingertip contact. Hips are back. Try and anchor the feet in the ground so you don't move them back. I'm just going to reach the hands up, windmill up. Hold it about 10 seconds or so in this one. Pull the hand down. You feel the ground slowly spreading, try and pull it together. About 10 seconds. Reach down and change. Come back. And change. Yeah. Coming back, just find the fingertips, pull the back up nice and long, start to find the shin bone. Pull the ground together a little bit, squeezing the ground, trying to hold it together. And pull the chest up long. And, okay, just sort my mat out. Okay, we're going to bring the feet wide. We'll do a nice long, bit of a longer lunge, this one. Keep the knee just back of the heel. Yeah. Back heel's really off the ground. Feet a little bit inclined. Just change that a little bit. A little bit inclined. Just start with this one. Just going to straighten the knees out. Pull the knees up long. Hips nice and tall. Chest wide. Chest tall. Shoulders wide. And then just think about dropping a little bit into it. So you've got a kind of elastic movement in the legs. Strong, grounded, but elastic. And just do a few. Just kind of raise up and sink down. Raise up. Sink down into it. Just want to feel settled, grounded, but also big. Strong. And elastic in the lower body. Okay. We'll just do a few here. Just going to reach out. Hips back. And pull yourself back. Hips back. Hands out. Hips back, hands out, keep the knees back. Back, hands forward. So feel again, hip initiates and the hands just float out to the front. Find a nice long extension through the spine. Try and be symmetrical, or try and be some kind of symmetry, balance within this kind of asymmetrical position. Okay, we're just going to hold the last one. Think about, in this case, as you hold it, especially in this case, if you're ground and set, you're going to kind of scissor the legs together. So you're kind of squeezing the legs together, like pulling the big toe to the heel. And this heel is if I'm kind of dragging it back to the foot. So reach out and just kind of scissor the legs. I'm going to kind of close them. You should feel here in the hip. You feel here in this hip especially. So reach out a little bit further each time through the breath. You can also, in this case, pull the toes off the ground with that front foot. So you can also try and really ground that front foot in these kind of three areas of the foot: base of the big toe, the heel, and the base of the little toe. That's bone. And spread the feet out, nice and wide. Okay, pull back, and then we'll take this up. So you're going to kind of spiral up to the top. Keep it normal. Keep that knee back again. And what I want you to do, just pulse the back leg, just the toes. The heel goes towards the ground, and then pulse up and try and spiral body a little bit deeper. That tension in the hands. Balance is tricky here. Just a few pulses. Hold it at the top. Nice deep breath in. Release back to center. Release the legs. Just change the side. So we'll do the same. Start with a nice wide lunge. Same thing, just straighten the knees out. Straighten them out and then just drop into the legs. Drop into two, nice and grounded. Elastic. Connection through the legs. Hips are nice and settled. So you want the hips ideally to be kind of square in this case. Just drop between the feet. And then same thing, just chopping the hips back, reaching forwards, and pull yourself back. So hips initiate, and hips initiate here to pull you back. Keep the knee back, so basically just transferring weight across into that front leg. Do a few, and then next one, just hold it. And again, just feel that you can kind of scissor the legs towards each other. Anchor yourself really in the ground. And you can also, again, pull the toes up, that front foot, off the ground, and just feel that you're spreading the weight evenly into the foot. Scissor the back leg. As if you're pulling the toes towards you. Reach out a little bit further each time in the breath. Hold a little bit more, one more breath. Okay, breath out, pull back. Keep that kind of position and then just spiral the body up using the back foot and the hip. And then you just pulse with this one. So you're going to kind of roll the back heel down. Keep the weight all in the front leg. The front leg. Slide that back to mobilize the body to the front, anchors you in the ground. Think about kind of bulbous poses, it's kind of spiraling up through the core. And the last one, just hold it, nice deep breath. Think wide, big, long, big spiral. Breath out really, so back to center. Set the arms. Release the legs a little bit. Squeeze out the wrist. The arms. Full body. Okay, great. And Keith told me he likes the slapping exercises, so we'll do the slapping exercise. You can blame Keith. We'll start with the hands this time. You roll, grab the hands. So there's three. How much time we've got in the warm-up? Let's see. Okay. There's kind of three levels to this. There's the first one's is like waking up the skeleton in a way. So the first level is like starting with a slap. So the idea is like the skeleton base. I'm trying to hit the marrow of the bone basically. So it's quite a deep impact. You don't want to slap like that. You want to kind of like a deep impact. That's good. Deep impact. Just work up the arm. You can use any part of the hand, but the idea is to really get into the bone. With a bit of on the shoulder here. And the other arm. Get all right to the core of the bone. So if you find any sore parts, you can either avoid them or you can hit them a bit harder. You've got two choices. Those are your choices. Just take the fingertips into the chest. So you're trying to get into the rib cage. Use the fingertips in this case. Just go around the outsides. Just watch the floating ribs, don't do that too hard. But you can go into them a little bit, a little bit around the back. And just watch the kidneys here, don't go anywhere near them. Okay, just take into it, just going to chop them. Hip flexor, but trying to get to the bone. Coming down to the legs to the inside. You can obviously be a bit harder with the legs if you want. A bit more muscle to get through to get to the bone. The outside edges. We'll work the backside on the way up, so to the front. Just go to the shin bone. Gently from the feet, just with the thumb to kind of run down the inside onto the toes. Right down the instep, the ankle bone. And then the way up, back up. Other side, through the calf. Outside edge, the back of the leg. Let's bring the body down. Toughest parts to work, glutes. Nice and gently. We'll go now into just working with a rub basically. So you're working with a fist. Just so we'll switch now, basically working, try and work the muscles now in this one. You're trying to get into the tissue. Switch it into the belly. You can do open hand, you can do a fist, depending on what you. Kind of move it. Same thing, just use the fingertips and just spread down and open. Tricky on the shoulder, just rub it. So you're trying to mobilize the tissues on the bone, basically. So this is generally going to be, when we go down the arm, it's a bit clearer because you can do it. So you basically take and you just roll the muscle around the bone. So you're kind of keeping that same contact, just move it. And moving the flesh on the bone. Waking up the tissues. Go all the way down the arm. Work the wrist especially. This is the area in 𝘱𝑗𝑛𝑒 you don't want to work because it's very fleshy. And the area you do want to work is here in the bone. So generally we're working this kind of area. With the wrist a little bit, just work the hand just kind of around it. You kind of loose grip. Oh, there we go. Go down near the shoulder and just rub it. If you feel any soft areas, go a little bit deeper into them, but just get this as you're just going to move things up. Tissue on the bone. The wrist. And work the way back up the underside. Okay, it's back in the neck. It's kind of difficult one. If you've got no hair, it's easy. Just take the fingers. Again, you just press in gently and then just shift them. You're just spreading the skin a little bit. So no muscle here, so we're switching a little bit to the skin there. So the skin and the connective tissues. As we go a little bit more into white, so just take the hands, just right them down the face. That's it, wake up. Good, and just work down the arms. Brushing off. And then just work the legs. We didn't do the legs in the muscle, so just again, just take and ring, work down the backside and the front. The knee. Work a little bit, needs to be a little bit loose to work the knee, but kind of. Okay, down the shin, and just move in the taking and ringing basically. And then wiping down. Wipe down, brushing off. Front and back. Good, and we'll just finish with a swing. Whole body, swing up, swing up, swing out, swing out, swing out. And just to make it a little bit smaller each time, a little bit less deep, a little bit shallower. Make it more compact. Arms with a little bit less. Just turn it into a pulse. Releasing and settling. Releasing and settling. Let's make it really small. Just a pulse in the hips now, in the center. Don't until you're totally still, well, but still as you can be. Okay, good. Okay, we'll do bokken. So, just going to sort my mat out a little bit. Okay, we'll just start first with the routine. Starting. 𝗔𝗤𝗞𝗜𝗠📫 and into the mind. And just nice, big, heavy, focused cut. Good. So just look at this one point that, in a way, this is what the sword's doing. You need to correct in the body, basically. So this is a tricky one. We've kind of done this before, but if the best thing is if you can see yourself when you do it, either into a mirror or whatever. But try and feel that you're really making a 𝘱𝘰𝘠𝗪𝘡𝗀 really clear with the sword. Now, in terms of 𝘱𝘰𝘠𝗪𝘡𝗀 work, in terms of our language as we do it, what you're looking for is the sword to be really straight down the line. So you're looking for the sword to be straight this way, so that it's not kinked either way. And you're looking for also, if you do it in a mirror, you're looking for a straight point to it rather than a kink down it. So do it to say if you've got a window or a mirror, do it. So if you're not, you can also use the screen, you can use the zoom, just switch the view, whatever, you can see yourself. But really get the sense that you're taking this all down. Now, the first few, don't try and control it. Just try and do a natural cut, which is hard to say now, I'm making conscious of it. But try and do a natural cut, or like you would normally do it. Just notice it. Don't try and change it, just notice it. This is like breath work. Don't try and change the breath, notice it. Right? Just notice what's happening with the sword. So you're trying to work towards, in a sense, kind of perfect 𝘱𝘰𝗪𝘡𝗀. Good luck, but give it a try. So in this case, like straight down the line. The first one to look out for is look for this deviation, look for this one. This one, which is like tilting, where we're starting to go really into like 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘴 work in a sense, in our definition. So if you're looking for like a pure 𝘱𝘰𝘠𝗪𝘡, would be like straight down. Right. Good. Yeah. Again, like my ability to do that actually comes from the body. I go into archery because it's a really clear example of it. If I want to go shoot for the bullseye, if my whole body's misaligned to the bullseye, I've got like 0% chance that I'll ever hit the target, unless I'm really just jamming and lucky, and it goes boom in the bullseye every so often. But if I'm really, what I need to do is really consciously like set the body up. So my bullseye's here. I start with the feet. I set the knees, I set the hips, set the spine, I set my attention, everything, and then I go towards the center. So it actually starts in the feet in a sense. So what you're looking for actually is to correct the sword through the clarity in the body, basically, which starts in the feet for us. So just think about as you do this, the difference if I'm to go with the foot goes here, or the foot goes here.
or the foot goes here. All these different positions of the foot which won't align to the shonen will take me out. Oh, sorry, surprise. So start basically your alignment with the sword from the feet. This is kind of classic alignment work. It's the same thing. It's like having a conversation with someone and the feet are already out of the door. It's very strange. So you want to like really engage with the person's. You want to engage with the cut in this case with the whole body. So it starts with like you want the feet to really go into the cut. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Morning, morning. Okay, we're just looking at the first one. We're just trying to cut straight. Not so easy. Down. Good. Yeah, nice. Good. Great. Isabella, hello. Okay, good. So we'll do the same now. Look only the right side, but look for 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘢. Okay. So you're gonna now, what I want you to do is contrast the 𝘱𝘭𝘢𝘵 work, so coming straight down the line, with now opening the hip out into 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘢. So in this case, the alignment's going to be that the pommel of the sword is going to kind of just be slightly on the back hip. So open out the hip a little bit and then allowing the sword to basically descend down in an arc this way. Just play with the right side. In this case, we'll go to the left next, but just play with basically going shonen. Again, the feet and the hips align to the shonen, and then 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘢, the feet and the hips align to the 𝘥𝘰𝘦. So you're a little bit, it's quite difficult to show on camera, but you've got the shonen kind of here, and you're a little bit more opened out here. So the hips going to slightly more spread. So you've got shonen and you've got 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘢 in this case. And that's going to change the sword. So again, try and change the descent of the sword with the hip. So you pull the hip down or you pull the hip down. Cut! Oh, missed the timing. Could have cut it. Shonen and 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘢. Good. Okay, good. Good. Okay, just make one change to this. You're gonna just control the cut. So imagine you're cutting to the head basically, and you're gonna control it. So the cuts now, what I want you to is just stop here. So the hips settle, but I'm just controlling the cut at that point. So you've got shonen, which would go straight down the front of the head, or you've got in this case 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘢, which would arc out, and I would cut the side of the head this way. Yeah. So in that simple case, you've got like that and that. I'm basically cutting the side of the head. Cutting the head front, cutting the side, cutting the head front, cutting the side. And the side can be the temple, or it can also be the whole side of the body, down the ear to the shoulder. One of the best ones is the target is that one, which is going to cut through the shoulder here. But the key with this is they're both aimed to the center. So again, if you can do this to yourself, easier on the camera, I do it to my head to the center. I do it to my 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘢 to the center. Yeah, so they're both directed to the center. Control it. And as you're doing it, you're doing that kind of targeting. Again, pull yourself back into the hip basically. Hips initiate down and hips initiate out. Hips initiate down, hips initiate out. Awesome. Nice. Nice. Oh. We'll do that one. Okay, nice. Yeah, great. Great. So we'll do a few of these working the other side. We'll start with this one. It's a really nice exercise because it really forces you to kind of release the shoulder consciously. So you're going to roll the sword down, but don't, just watch in this case, you don't want to drop the connection here. So the arms aren't loose. They're connected in the same way. I'm just dropping the connection down. So they're connected in the same way. I've got the posture in the body. What I want you to do now is you've got this kind of ascending arc which comes through. So imagine in this case you've got someone attacking shaman. You're just going to raise the sword up. It's going to catch the shaman. I'm going to continue it. And then I'm going to go into a 𝘥𝘠𝘦𝘢 in this case. It's going to wedge the body forward. So started like this, you've got 𝘏𝑚𝑎i. Really raise, drain the sword down, drain the sword down, drain the sword down, all the way. And then you release up and then you cut. You can do this in 2 moves. Ideally, this is one. This is basically one blend. So this is like a late blend, or I've given them really the full shaman attack. I'm going to raise the sword up as I wedge the body in underneath, and then the hip comes in. So, give it a try. Good. 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 Okay, this next step needs a bit of imagination. So you've got to imagine in this case, as I do this movement, this, and I'm about to cut, the person's basically received the block. And what's happened, they've cut here. This is bounced, they've received the block here, and they're going to come around again, and they're going to cut on the left side this way. Yeah. So you've got a second attack basically coming in. So I've blended with the raise or the cut down of the sword, but they're going to come around this way. So before I've got a chance to cut in, what I've got to do is pull the hip back and block this way. Yeah. You can take this into a block. We'll actually take it to a finish because of the, let's see. So you're going to wedge in here. I'm about to cut, and then this. Okay. I've got a choice now. You've got a choice. You can pull the hip back into a block, or the alternative here is you raise up and you step and you cut onto the side of the head. This way. These are 2 wedges off the line. So in this case, simple sense. I'm going to wedge up with the sword, and I either pull the hip back and block, or the other one is to raise up and wedge the hip in off the line, and I finish a cut. It's actually the same dynamic. One you're pulling back, and one you're entering, but it's the same Same dynamic of the body, basically. One's to block, one's to finish. You can pull the body back and pull the body forward. Yeah, nice, Catherine. Good. And once you got the idea, see if you can get it basically together. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite in a way kind of explosive form. I'm basically trying to make one time with my sword work. It's coming up and then it's coming down. But I've changed my plan during the motion, basically. Like the original plan, I change it. And flexible enough, I can do it. Nice. So. Push. Push. Okay, you've got it. So we'll add another step to this. So you can stay at that level, you can go to this one, which is this. You raise up. In this case, you're going to go into a block. So you're going to block back. And then obviously, because I've gone a block, the person's not going to stop. So they're going to come in again. We're going to finish with this one. I give you two choices. You can cut down just off the line. Or you've got this block, and you can release the left hand in this case. Come in and strike with the edge of the sword or with the handle of the sword. Movement, just different handwork. So simple terms in this one, you raise up, wedge in, pull back into a block, and then you either wedge off to the right foot, finish, or you wedge off to the right foot and you strike with the sword. No, give it a try. So you got to raise, block, finish. Yeah. So. And then just really comes down to hip work, hip controlled, controlling the sword. Body change the plan, body changes sword. Yeah. Or mind changes plan. Mind changes plan, mind changes body, body changes sword. Right. Yeah, do that. Yeah, oh, that one, right. Yeah, you can neutralize, yeah.
We did this on Saturday.
Oh, you did it. Great, very good.
I do remember the movements.
Good.
The only tricky thing is when someone is signaling the first movement, so
Yeah.
here, and they go all over the place, then you have a lot of time to actually make this cut in response.
Yeah, just do this.
Yeah.
Give him the risk. Noisy sword. It's called noisy sword, right?
You could also go for the underarm if not it.
Yeah. This way.
No, down, up.
Yeah. Or come here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also do that. And you can also do that. Oh God, there's tons of this. Let's see. That one. That one. Right. Nice. Lots of options. Great. Now, in a sense, again, the key thing isn't the movement; it's the ability to change. So just play the last minute or so, last 2 minutes. Play with the first form, play with the second, play with the third. But you want the ability to basically do any of them. So if the opportunity arises in this case, and I can come through, the person hasn't responded, just cut to the head and finish it. It's done. If they continue with that, I just follow them. Go into one of these. All right, just waiting, or I'm just trying to find the timing where it's right. But again, key, not really about the other person in this case, just about my ability to change. Go my plan. Change my plan. Or let's kind of hold the space. You've got kind of three options in this case with handwork variation. But the key one's actually that first one, that raise up, cutting in. That's the intention with all of them. So. Okay. Okay. Very good. And I think we have these on film somewhere. Well, I'll try and look for the film today. Hopefully make it a bit easier. I think we have them on film. Yeah, great. Okay, last 20 seconds, just find that Kamai position and just release down. Okay, you're gonna release down really slow. You're gonna do it the last 20, 30 seconds. Slowly down, slow as you can. Long cool down. One movement. Keep that extension, keep the engagement with the body. Slowly lower the sword. And then feel like you're just ready to pounce as you go to the bottom of the sword. Just hold it at the bottom when you get there. 5, 10 seconds. And slowly pull yourself back to Kamai. Will out. Okay, perfect. We will stop there. Be aware of your space. Okay. Good. Great. Domo, arigato. Gozaimasu. Very good.